Hello guys, welcome to BTech Spark. In this video, I'm going to explain you a demo on Google ADK with ADK Web. It will also cover A2A. In this, I'll show you how to create an agent and how to make it or how to interact with that agent using Web UI by launching that agent through ADK Web, and I'll show you simply how to add a custom tools to it, as well as I'll show you how to add a human in loop. That is, if you interact with your agent, then that agent will take a background permission of a human, or it will add a human inside the loop before executing specific task. So that also I'll show you. After that, I'll show you how to make any agent as a remote server, how to host an agent as a API server using ADK without defining your own A2A server or own A2A client. You are going to host your agent using ADK. So that you will going to see in this. And without creating A2A client, how to connect to that hosted remote API server. So that also you are going to see. And at the end, you are going to connect with the whatever the host agent that you use to connect with your or host agent that you are using your remote agent as a sub agent. With that host agent, you are going to interact at the end by using the ADK web UI. So let's get started. I'll show you on simple basis how to create an agent. So first create a folder with some name, some demo. So inside this, I'm creating one agent. That's what my, let's say it's a prime check agent. So I provided the name it as prime check. Inside this, you can create an agent.py. Before creating this agent.py, you need to understood why only this agent.py is created, or inside this, why you are creating your agent definition. This is already predefined. Like inside your agent name folder, you need to create an agent with the name agent.py. Inside that also, root underscore agent is the agent name that you need to define. If at all you haven't done this, like you haven't defined like this, so let's create an agent with a name called prime agent, prime agent 1, prime check agent 1. Now let's going to create this agent with Google ADK agents. You can import directly the agent, you can import, or LLM agent you can able to import, and using the same you can able to define your agent by simply name of the agent, that is prime agent check checker or prime check agent you can specify with the name. Along with the model name you need to provide, like what is the model that you are going to use, that you need to like Gemini 2.0 Flash. It's one of the model available in Google ADK. Along with this, you need to, so before interacting with your agent, you need to load your environmental variables like Google API key you need to provide. For that, I'm going to create one of the environmental files. In this, I'm defining my Google API key. Here, I am going to paste my API key. Now, let's try to load that by using .env. Let's import load.env, and using that load.env, let's load our what are the environmental parameters that we created in this .env. So from this, my environmental variable, that is Google API key, got loaded. And this is the simple way you can able to define your agent. These two are the mandatory fields. A part of these two, like multiple fields are also there. In simple, like only these you can able to define an agent. Now I want to run this. To run this, first you need to create some virtual environment or activate it, or from local also you can able to run this. I'm activating my virtual environment, and I try to check whether ADK is present or not. You can see ADK is not found. Then you can install this Google ADK. You require this Google ADK in order to run any agent. So I'm just installing it in my virtual environment. After that, you are going to use that Google ADK to do all the future tasks or current tasks, like hosting an agent or making launching an agent using ADK web for web UI. After installation of successfully this Google ADK, you need to move on inside which folder you want to run that Google ADK, or inside which folder you are going to run your agent. Remember here, each and every folder you can remember it as an agent. Like inside this demo, like how many folders I have? Only one. That is what? It's prime I want to put. Yeah. So inside this, only one folder is there. Inside that folder, you can see I have these two. One is agent.py and one is .env. If I run inside this demo folder, then I can able to see only one agent, that is this prime check. I'll move into this demo folder and I'll run this ADK web so that you can able to see only one agent there, since we defined only one prime check agent. Now you can see all my dependencies got installed successfully for the Google ADK. Let's move into this demo folder, like where I am in Google ADK. Let's change into demo folder. Let's clear the screen. Let's try to run the, now let's check whether ADK is present or not. This also provides you what are the commands available to you to run. I told you, right, you can use API server to serve an API. Like I'll show you like how to make use of it to make an agent as a server. And this we are going to see to run with web UI for to start a fast API server with web UI. Now I'll show you that ADK space web is a command that you can provide, so that inside this folder, that is inside this demo folder, what are the agents are there, those all will be shown in the web UI. Since I have only one folder inside this folder, so only this agent will be shown. If I have another folder, then that will be taken as another agent. So now I'm running this. Mm, Before running, I'll also explain you these commands. That is, if you use ADK space run, then you can able to run an interactive CLI for the agent that you just created. Like in CLI, you can able to interact with your agent, or you can able to deploy your agent by using this deploy command, but this requires your Google API credentials, Google credentials. Currently, we are not having a Google Cloud account, or currently we are not creating any deploying any agent, so that's why we are not moving on this. And this create is the command that you can able to use to create your new app in the current folder. That is same like how we designed our agent. I've shown you right how to create a prime check agent along with these agent.py as well as this .env that will be created automatically if you make use of this create command and provide your app name, or whatever the default required files along with their dependencies all will be created. I'll also show you that first. So I've provided ADK space create. Inside this demo folder, I've provided that command. Let's see what happened. You can see it is providing missing app name. You need to provide what app you are going to create. Like ADK create, let's do let's do create roll dice agent. Inside this inside this demo folder itself, I'm creating one more agent, that is roll dice agent, using ADK create. This prime check agent is what we defined. Now we are creating a roll dice agent with automatically by using this create command. Now you need to select among these two options which model you want to use. You want to use Gemini 2.0 Flash or other models. I want to make use of the first model. And what API key you want to provide, this Gemini AI or Vertex AI. Currently I have Gemini AI API key, so that's why I'm providing one. Yeah. Now you can see you can also provide your API key here, so that that will be directly saved to there, like in the environmental variable. No, I don't want to provide it here. I directly open my .env file to save there, like API key you need to provide there. Now you can see the same things, like whatever we created in this prime agent, the same things will be created here. Like your .env got created as well as, so this is an optional. Since you are making use of a Google API key, here you need to provide your Google API key. I'm just providing that. I've provided my API key in this .env variable, log .env file, and inside this, if you have the agent, how they created, like they provided the model name as well as a model what they want to use. Currently, I want to make use of Gemini 2.0 Flash. You can rename what model you want to use and description. Here you can observe the root agent. This root agent need to be defined inside this agent.py. If you not define, like in the previous what we created in the prime agent is, we haven't defined that root.py, or root agent we haven't defined. Then what we'll get is, if we are trying to use this, there is a no agent root agent found in this agent, like that will get error. I'll show you that by using ADK web. Now I'm running this ADK web inside this demo, so it will show me two agents. One is prime check agent, another one is a roll die agent. I'm opening this. Yeah, here inside this you can able to list all the folders. You can say all the sub agents which are present inside the demo folder, like uh, from which folder you will run. Inside that folder, what are the subfolders are there, those all subfolders will be listed like agents here. Prime check agent, if I try to run it, like if I say hi, what I'm getting some error. Now let's try with this role dice agent. This role dice agent who created automatically created by this ADK. Now let's type hi here. You can see agent work is going on behind and you can say I got the response. So what is the difference? Why this role dice agent is working and why this prime check agent is not working when I type hi? The reason I'll show you. The structure should be like the folder, nothing but your agent name, and inside this you have .env. Inside that you need to have agent.py. Inside that agent.py you need to define root agent. This is how Google ADK will detect an agent. Like inside the folder, do I have agent.py? If agent.py is there, then it can detect like this is my agent file. And inside that agent.py, so what is the root agent? That root agent will be considered as the main agent. Now I'm going to stop this and let's restart this ADK web so that we can able to make use of this root agent inside this. Now it will work. Yeah, it's launched. I'm going to refreshing this tab. This previously this prime check agent is not working, right? Now let's type hi. You can see now this prime check agent is also working well and I'm getting the response. If you want to see like what is the delay happened for invocation to response, you can able to identify that from here. And what are the events happen in the background that you can able to identify from here by clicking on it. You can able to identify which agent is responding for the request and what is the response that you got. Those all you can able to see from here. If you have multiple steps happened, then multiple events will be shown here. And what are the sessions that are running, those are also visible here. This is nothing but the previous session and this is the current session, and the evaluation matrix also visible here. Okay, now I'll show you how to add a tool. So in this you have seen like how to create a simple agent by using create ADK create. You have seen as well as by using manually how to create an agent, what are the files that are required, what is the folder structure, or what are the files that we need to create along with creating an agent. Now I'll show you how to create a sample custom tool. Let's say I want to create a tool one. This tool one you can able to create, or let's say I want to create a tool and provide the tool to this. That is tools. Inside the tools you can able to provide whatever the tools that you want to provide. Since it's a prime check agent, I want to provide a code for this, or prime check tool I want to provide. This prime check tool, I'll show you how to define this. So in order to provide, we need to first define this, right? As a function, you can define your tool. This prime check agent, what it will do is, it will take a number as input. This number is nothing but an integer. If you not specify this as an integer or anything, then you will sometime get an error. Like, so you cannot able to parse some input, like that you will able to get some error. So in order to avoid that, you can define like what is the type of input that you are providing to this tool by using the int or str. If you are using a string or providing the string variable, or you can also provide float, like that whatever the data type that you want to provide as input, that you need to specify and mention the description of this tool here. This tool is used to take input number as integer and check whether input is prime or not. If prime, it returns true, otherwise false. So simply you can provide some description of that tool like this for better documentation and for the agent to identify betterly about this tool. And you can write the function, or you can write the logic of the tool here. I'm writing the logic of it. Logic of checking an agent is prime or not. So for that you can take 2 till int of number power 0.5. That is, you are taking the square root of that number, and till from 2 till the square root plus 1 of that number, you are taking the numbers, and you are going to check whether the number is divisible by the number which is present in between 2 till square root of that number. If the number is divisible, then you can say it's not a prime, so you can say it's as a false. If it is not divisible by any of the number which is present in between 2 till square root of that number, we can say that number as prime. So this is the simple logic for checking whether the given number is a prime or not. Now we have provided that tool to this agent. Now let's clear the screen and let's run this ADK web, and then let's open this. Let's refresh this. Yeah, now the tool got launched. Now the ADK web got launched. Using this prime check agent, I want to check whether 127 is prime or not. Let's see what it will do, like what events, or yeah, let's see what happens. Yes, 127 is prime. Let's open this. I think tool call is not shown. Use tools you have to check the number is prime or not. Or let's ask the question in this way: what tools you have? Since we have defined one a tool, right? Let's check whether it can able to show that tool or not. It was showing some generic response. So let's delete this session. And the important point that I want to tell here is automatically each and every time, like session management is happening here. If you click on this, then a new session will be created. You can see the session ID changed. If I click on it, a new session will be created. If I see the sessions, these are all the previous sessions. Like if I delete this, then this session will be deleted. If I delete this as well, the session will be deleted. If I delete this as well, a session will be deleted. If I currently we are in this session, if I click on create new session, another session will be created. Like all the conversations will be hold in this session. In this session we provided a hi as the message. In this session we provided who are you as the message. Now you can see those conversations will be hold, or those session conversations will be hold on their sessions only. That means you can think of it like a session management is also happening in the back. Now let's try to rerun our app. Like let's provide some instructions to our agent to make use of the tool for the task like prime number checking. Now you can see in our agent only name as well as the model as well as the tools are defined, but we haven't specified clearly the instructions like you can use this tool whenever user ask, or you can work only on with the tools whatever you have. For that, you can provide the instructions. You can see I have defined clearly. Make use of tools and perform the task. And you have this tool like prime check agent tool to check whether the number is prime or not. Do any task only using tools you have. Now, since we provided strict instructions to make use of the tool that we provided to it, it can only do the task by using this tool. Now, let's stop this. So, that is the requirement of these instructions to specify the agent to follow only the specific rules that we specified. Let's run this ADK web to again launch these all the functions or all the agents which are present in this demo folder. Now let's reload this page. So in this prime check agent I'm present. Now I'm going to ask like 100 is prime. So like that I'm asking. Now you can observe this tool, it is identified, that is a prime check tool is identified. Then you can see this tick represents the implementation of the tool. If you click on it, then you can able to identify the events which are happened in the backend. I'll select this and I'll select this. So you can see the first. So these are all the event calls from the agent. That tool call is happened. After that, from tool, the response is returned. Based on that, this agent will be responded to us like no, 100 is not a prime. So this is how the tool can be make use of, or this is how the agent will make use of the tools in the backend to perform any task, and this is the latency or the overall time for the response. Now let's move back to like where we are. We have created our agent and we have checked our agent with launching a web UI by using ADK web, and we have added a simple tool that is prime check tool to check whether the agent, or you can say to check whether the given number is prime or not. Now, so this is one of the interesting point, that is adding a human inside the loop. How to add a human inside the loop? Now I'm going to create a function. So that is this check human feedback loop. In this I'm returning a dictionary with status that is pending and number as whatever the number that currently prime check is happening, I'm passing it, and ticket id, some ticket id I'm passing. Okay, so this tool I want to implement like, so before performing prime check, if the number is greater than 100, then I want to make use of this check human feedback tool to take the input from the user. If user approves, then only I want to proceed to check the prime or not. Otherwise I don't want to implement this function. So like that I want to make use of this human feedback. So for that you need to clearly specify the, I've added the tool, and then I need to clearly specify the instructions. So for your case also you need to specify the clear instructions. If the number is greater than 100, once take user permissions to using check human feedback tool. If the human feedback is approved, then only perform prime check using the tool. Otherwise, human feedback is not approved, don't perform prime check. Like that I clearly mentioned. So when to make use of this tool and when not to make use of this tool. Now, so like this you can able to take the human feedback. Since human feedback may approval or not approval take some time, right? Yes. So the user may see or may not see. So since it's a long running time, we need to manage that time by using a long running function tool that you need to import directly from Google ADK tools. You need to import this long running tool. There, this long running function tool is already there. So while defining your tool, This tool function, you need to define it inside the long running tool function. This long running function tool, you define your function as this. So it will run long, and it will wait until the human feedback is given. I'm just saving this. I'm just stopping the ADK web and restarting it. Let's check whether it will wait till the human feedback is given, and then it will perform the prime check or not. I'll open. It's launching. Yeah, it's launched. Let's open this, or let's try to open one more. Yeah, it's opened, I hope. Yeah, let's select this prime check agent. And here I want to ask, like, is 127 is prime? Since it's greater than 100, I hope it will ask me the permission. You can see check human feedback function is triggered, and you can see it's also executed. This is how it was taking my request, or it is taking the human feedback. Okay, I have submitted a request for human feedback. I'll proceed further once I get the approval. Only it will continue after I approve it. So this is the number. They want to check for prime or not. I'm just sending OK, so that this will be approved. That is, I am approving it. You can see this was sent. Okay, human feedback is approved. Then the prime check is happened. Then you can see prime check tool is provided. 127 is prime or not. So if you observe the events, like, first the request will be gone from prime check agent to this human feedback. From this, it will get the response. Based on that, it will make use of the prime check tool. It first decided to make use of or not. After that, since this is okay, it will make use of this, and then it got the response. Based on that, it was responded. Now let's ask, like, is 347 is prime? Now let's try to disapprove this to check whether the functionality is working correctly or not. So let's provide no. I'm not approved. So let's see what the response I got. Okay, human feedback is not approved, so I cannot perform the prime check. Super, it's working well, right? Human feedback is also accepted, and the agent is working according to the human feedback now. So let's move back. We have also covered how to add a human feedback loop. Now let's make it as a remote API server. To make it as a remote API server, so let's create it in a new folder so that it will be easy for us to make it as a remote agent. Remote agent, remote agent 1, I'm creating. And inside this prime check agent, I'm just putting, or I'm just dragging that full prime check agent into this. Yeah, so now in this remote agent 1, my prime check agent is present. I'm just stopping this. Now I'll show you how to launch this, or how to make it as an API server. To make it as an API server, you can make use of this ADK space. So like where your agent is present, that you need to provide. Or first you need to specify the instructions: ADK space A2A, or ADK space API server. Since we are launching an API server, we make use of this API server. After that, you need to specify this is for A2A. On top of what port you want to run this? 8001 I want to run this. And after running on top of this port, like where your agent is present, so that you need to specify. Inside this remote agent 1, right? So inside this demo, inside this remote agent 1, I'm specifying that remote agent 1. So this whatever the agent present inside this remote agent 1, that is I'm serving it on top of this port as an A2A, API server using this ADK. So that's what the whole command meaning is. Now I'm running this. Here I want to specify two important points that will be shown here, like as warnings. Two things are experimental here. Yeah, hyphen hyphen A2A we need to provide. So while running this API server, it will launch a server for the agent present inside this folder. And here I want to specify one thing, that is this API server is currently an experimental only. I got some conflict or issue. So what is this? Yeah, I think it's it's under virtual environment. I can say it's a dependency issue. Yes, since it's a virtual environment related folder or file related issue, we're getting this conflict. Let's check with the version of Python. Our current Python version is 3.13.3. So make sure if you are using this, then you might also face right now if you are using the same conflict. So let's try to create another Python virtual environment and let's try to run this there. Let's check, do I have another Python versions or not. For this I have pressed Ctrl Shift P. Yeah, I'll check with create environment. Yeah, create environment option is there. I'm selecting it. Yeah, I'm creating another virtual environment. Yeah, I'm going to delete or create new one. Since Python 3.13 is providing me the conflict, I'm just making use of Python 3.12. The requirements I need to select. So let's select this, or don't need to select anything. Let's click on OK so that another virtual environment will get create. Like this will be deleted. Inside the same, another, like deleting the existing one and creating a new one. You can see the logs here. If you click on it, then you can able to identify the logs, like what are happening. So let's wait for a moment so that this will be get created. If you observe, like Google ADK, it is also checking with that, like Google ADK. Anyway, we will check whether the Google ADK is downloaded or not. So now let's clear the session. Yeah. So since it's activated now, let's see the version. It's a 3.12.0. Now it's got updated, like it's got downgraded as per our requirement. Now let's check whether ADK is present or not. Like let's deactivate this. Then let's try to activate again this virtual environment since we again created this. So inside not demo. Yeah, inside this Google ADK, this virtual environment is present. So we just activated the virtual environment. Let's check ADK. It's not showing. So let's try to install the Google ADK inside this. Hope all the packages got installed and the collecting is happening. Now everything is loaded. Let's try to check with ADK space API server A2A on top of a port. What is the port? That is a 8001. Where is my mm, uh, where is my agent is present? Inside this remote agent, my agent is present. So currently we are in a Google ADK. So from Google ADK, I need to move into the demo. From that, I need to move into this remote agent. Yeah. Here, if I launch this A2A server on top of this port, then this prime check agent will be launched as a remote agent. I'm just running this so that this will be launched as a remote agent. Again, I'm getting one more error, that is no module named A2A. We need to install Google A2A for this. We need to install A2A SDK for this so that this ADK, A2A SDK will be installed. Yeah. So now let's try to launch our prime check agent again. So I hope this might be the issue in the previous time as well. I think we need to install this A2A SDK. Yes. So that's the issue, I think. Since now you can see this got launched on top of this port, on top of a local host using fast API. Now our agent is launched. Now to recognize this agent, we need to design an agent card. Using that agent card, we can able to access our agent. How to design that agent card, sir? To design that agent card, inside your prime check, you need to define one more, that is agent.json. This agent.json file will act as an agent card. Inside this agent card, you need to specify few details. In this agent.json, we need to define agent metadata, nothing but agent information. I'll explain you one by one. We need to define the capabilities, nothing but is it allowed to stream or not. So such details. And what is the default mode of input, that we need to define, and what is the default output mode, description of the agent as well as name of the agent, and what are the skills of the agent. Let's do define the input modes of it. Let's take it as a plain text as the input, and the application forward slash JSON is the output. And the description of agent, you can say I have written clearly in a detailed manner. An agent specialized in checking whether numbers are prime. It can effectively determine primitively of individual numbers or a list of numbers. And the name of the agent is check prime agent, and the skills I am providing like ID, name, description as well as the tags suitable for it. These all we need to define under the skills, like ID as a prime checking, and the name of the agent as prime number checking agent, and the description like check if the number is a list number in a list or prime, can efficiently mathematical algorithms. By using that, it can able to identify that. And tags have provided like mathematical computational prime as well as the numbers, and the URL where my agent is hosted, that I'm providing. Here you can clearly observe like under 8001 under A to A, you can see what is the agent name that I provided. What is the folder name? That is prime check. That same I have provided. And the version, that is 1.0.0. I just saved this. Then now I'm copying this. So let's, so before restarting this, I want to open a new tab. Under that I am pasting this and dot well hyphen known forward slash agent dot json. Okay, http we need to put. Yeah, you can see no details found right now. Since this agent.json is created after running this, I'm just restarting this so that this agent.json also gets loaded. To remember an agent or to identify an agent, this agent.json is nothing but the agent card that is used to identify this agent. Let's wait till this agent gets posted. After that, let's check whether we can able to access the agent related details by using the agent card. Now I am opening and reloading the same page. You can observe here, like our agent card details, whatever we have provided, those are visible here clearly, right? Yes. So from this we can able to say on top of localhost our prime check agent got hosted successfully. Here the important point is, so while hosting any agent, the agent related agent card you need to define, so that you need to remember. Okay, now our agent card is defined and it is available. Now I want to make use of that agent card inside this role agent. I'm opening this role agent. Currently, this role agent is doing nothing. So let's provide some function to this as well so that it can able to do or achieve some task. Let's define some role dice. So whenever this function is called, what it need to return is it need to return me a random number. So for that I'm importing random and random dot rand int is the method that you can able to make use of. And a and b specifies the numbers, like in between, let's say 1 to 1000, any of the number, let's take it as a random. So I'm just providing like this. I want to provide it as a tool to it. Tools is equals to roll roll dice. I provide it as a tool. So whenever I make use of this agent, then what it will do is it will roll the die by using that function, and it can able to tell me what is the random number that we got after rolling the die, that is in between 1 to 1000. Let's provide that instruction as well here. You can roll the die using roll dice function when user asked to roll the die. And not only this, I want to add up something to this. What I want to add up is, since we already hosted, so this is the remote hosted agent, right? We already have a remotely hosted agent. Now I want to get that agent here. I want to connect to that remotely hosted agent here and provide that as a sub agent to this root agent. So how to do that? For that, in order to get the remote remotely hosted prime check agent, we need to again define it like a LLM agent from Google ADK dot agents. Let's import this LLM agent. Using that LLM agent, let's define that. So while defining, so before define, Since it's not an LLM agent, it's a remote agent, right? Yes. This is the remote A2A agent, so that's why we need to make use of this remote A2A agent, and here we need to define that agent. This remote A2A also present under this Google ADK agent itself. Inside this remote A2A, we have one more class, that is a remote A2A agent. Through this, we can able to connect to our agent. In this, we need to specify few details like what is the name of our agent. It's a prime check agent, so I am providing the same name. And you can see what are the things that we need to specify. Those are already i- visible to us, like name we need to specify, and agent card as well as the description we need to specify. Time mode, HTTPX client, these all are optional. So I'm providing description as well as agent card. Description I'm providing. This agent will check the number is prime or not. And agent card I'm providing as a formatted string, that is HTTP or whatever the, yeah, this is where our agent card is present, like after local hosting. So that's why I'm providing the same URL to here. And then since I want to provide it as a sub agent, I'm defining that as a sub agent, I'm defining that inside the sub agents to make use of that. So you can see I defined that as a sub agent to this root agent. And in the instructions, I need to specify in a clear, detailed manner, like what is the task or what it will do. I've already specified you can roll the dice using the roll dice function when a user asks to roll the die. Then after, check the result of the roll die number using prime agent, using, let's provide the same name, remote prime check agent, the sub agent. By using that, check the result of the roll die number is prime or not, using this. So that's what we provided. Simply it will roll the die and get some number. After that, it will check the number is prime or not using this sub agent, right? Yeah, that's what it will do. Okay, let's run this. To run this, I'm opening a new terminal. Then here also I'm going to connect to this virtual environment. My virtual environment is present here itself. I've activated it. Now where this agent is present, like roll dice agent is present inside this demo, so that's why I'm moving on to that. After that, I want to start this, like roll dice agent I want to start. So using ADK web I'm starting. So after starting this, it will show this remote agent one as like this folder as one agent and this folder as one agent. This folder, since I created for my another agent hosting, I'm not making use of it. If I make use of it also, it won't recognize any agent. But I'll make use of this remote dice agent to roll the dice as well as check that number is prime or not. This roll dice I'm making use of, and roll the dice. I'm asking it to roll the die. So it started, like it rolled the dice. Okay, I rolled the dice and the result is this. roll dice and check its prime or not. I'm sorry, I cannot check if the result is prime or not. I cannot roll the dice for you. I think it's just confused with the instructions. We need to provide clear detailed instructions. Let's try to modify the instruction. Let's comment this description. Like I'm providing an additional instruction like your task. One is to roll the dice, and the second one is to check the result of the dice roll is prime or not. Do both. I'm specifying. Do strictly both. So, and I provided the description related to how to do what. So that also I provided. Then I'm saving it and restarting the session. I'm just restarting the session. Let's reload this page as well. Yeah. Now I'll ask to roll dice. Since I asked to roll the dice, let's see what it will do. You can see first it rolled the dice. After rolling the dice, you can see it also transferred to the agent. After transferring to the agent, since the number is 216, that means it is greater than 100. It is asking for human feedback. Now I'm just checking this. I'm providing OK to proceed to compute whether the number is prime or not. Now you can see 216 is not a prime number. So obviously it is divisible by 2, so that's why it is not a prime number. If you observe the events, then so first primarily the root agent will call this roll die, so that this will provide me the result, this roll dice. In the second event, it just provided the result. After that, it can check with the subagents, and then it called to the subagent. The subagent will check with the subagent will try to, since it has two things. One is a human feedback loop, as well as the second one is a prime check. It done both the things as you observe here. I- It asks us for human feedback whether it can able to compute for this or not. Like 216, since we provided a human feedback loop that is greater than, for computation tasks, that is greater than 100. If number is greater than 100, we are asking it to take human feedback, right? So that's why it is taking the human feedback initially before checking whether the number is a prime or not. So that task also it was doing. So from this we can able to say the remote agent we hosted successfully, and we successfully connect to that remote agent by using this remote A2A agent connection through this agent card related URL. Yes. So if we observe like the concepts that we are going to cover, like we have already make an agent as a remote API server, and we even connected to that remote server, and we created a host agent, nothing but root agent, that is a role dice agent we created to interact with the remote agent. We have even interacted with the remote agent, that is through that we checked the roll dice, or you can say the dice rolled number is a prime or not. So that's about this video. In this video we have covered all these things, like we covered A to A, as well as we covered human in a loop, as well as along with this we have also covered API server launching and interacting with that remote agent that we launched through API server. I hope you understood this video and you got some hands-on knowledge regarding this. I hope this video is useful to you. If you feel this video is useful, then please like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to get the latest update. Thanks for watching again. See you back in the next video with another interesting topic. Until then, bye bye, guys.